Senate Bill 164 is very similar to a bill that we heard before, but this bill takes the approach into Title 45, which is our criminal section of law, and out of Title 41, which was Child Protective Services. This bill creates a felony charge for everyone, and you can see here on page 2, line 21, a person, whether or not the person is supervising the welfare of the child, so anyone, who procures or provides, that's also language in the bill, the treatment listed below. So this, of course, includes parents, it includes doctors, but it's pretty broad. It could include nurses, other healthcare workers, other family members, who knows? It's very broadly written. If you look at lines 23 through 25 on page 2, you'll see the reasons for which this treatment is prohibited, and you'll note that there are no exceptions for young people who are born with genetic anomalies, chromosomal conditions, intersex Montanans, and the like. And this is also really concerning. I want to share a brief story with you that I heard from one of our constituents in the state. This is a fellow who has a 9-year-old daughter who was born with a genetic abnormality. She has an XY chromosome that led to the underdevelopment of her ovaries, and that led to those ovaries becoming cancerous in a 9-year-old child. So she had to have surgery to remove her ovaries. That right away is prohibited in this bill. She had to have that surgery in Texas, in fact, because we don't have that kind of specialist care in Montana anymore. When she and her father returned to Montana, her doctor told the dad that the daughter needs to be on estrogen to replace the hormones from that surgery, from the removed ovaries. But the doctor also said that under this bill, as written, this would be considered gender-affirming care. And it's again because of that chromosomal condition that is not exempted in the language of this bill. The doctor said if Senate Bill 164 passes, this dad is going to have to take his daughter down to Denver to get that treatment. This guy doesn't have the money to fly back and forth to Denver with his daughter every month to get that treatment. And here's the kicker, even if he does get that care in Denver, he's still considered a felon here in Montana. There's a lot of concerns that I have about the broadness of this bill and also the use of felony criminal charges to regulate medical care. We have a lot of tools at our disposal as the legislature to regulate health care, but felony criminal charges are not the appropriate tool for that job. Lastly, but certainly not least, this bill has a lot of concerns for me about parental rights. At the end of the day, I think there are a lot of parents out there, certainly like the dad I just shared the story of, but also a lot of parents of trans kids who are just trying to do what they believe is best for their kids. This criminalizes those parents. This is going to end up with families that are facing unbelievably difficult decisions. I would say that I understand there's a lot of concern and a lot of mixed opinions about this type of health care. I understand that. But turning parents and doctors into felons is absolutely not the approach that best serves this state. This bill is broad, it's dangerous, and the unintended consequences, I think, are beyond what we've considered.
1 minute.
Please vote no.
The question now arises on the motion of Representative Mitchell that when this committee does rise and report after having had under consideration Senate Bill 164, it recommend the same be concurred in. Those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed vote no. Are there absentee votes?
Madam Chair, Representative Marler votes no.
Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change his or her vote? If not, the clerk will record the vote.
Madam Chair, 40 representatives have voted aye, 58 have voted no.
Senate Bill 164 has not been concurred in.